Hello everyone, welcome to Franklin County Main Streets. I'm your host, Lilian Autler, and today I'm here with Goverman, who is with us from the Lava Center here in Greenfield. The Lava Center is local access to Valley arts. Is that right?
Yes.
So, can you just tell us a little bit about what the Lava Center is and how you came to the Lava Center?
Yeah, I would love to. So the Lava Center is an arts incubator, is one of the terms that we use. It's really about being a really accessible community space for folks to engage in arts and humanities. So on like a practical concrete level, what that looks like is we have 2 gallery walls for art or humanities exhibits, and we have continuous programming of various events to access the arts. We have writers read events that happen every month. We have a pretty large writing community, so a lot of events for writers, some events for visual arts and music and theater. The nature of the Lava Center is that because it's so accessible, we have these open hours that we're hoping to increase. We also see ourselves as something of a library-like space, of being a free space for folks to go into and beat the elements, and to be connected with community and with resources and with art. So by nature of that accessibility, we at Lava, who are on staff, we try to create programming or partner with community members who have ideas for programming in a way that's really responsive to community need. Mm-hmm. We're really hoping for it to be kind of a megaphone for folks within the community or like a canvas really, for them to have access to be like creating the kind of community you wish to be in the world, in Greenfield, in Franklin County.
Yeah, no, I've definitely noticed that about the Lava Center, that it's very open to whatever ideas people have or proposals people have, and we'll talk more about the kinds of programming that Lava Center does. But maybe just tell us a little bit about how the Lava Center started. What's its history?
Yeah, so I'm pretty new here, so this is kind of a repeating of legend of the origins of the Lava Center. So I've heard described by one of the founders, Jan. There's a Toni Morrison quote that's about, I cannot give it to you directly, but it's so Googleable. And it's like, the kinds of books that I wanted to read didn't exist, and so I wrote them. And with the Lava Center, it's like this kind of community space that Jan and Lucinda, one of the founders, and Vanessa, that third founder, that they wanted to exist in Greenfield didn't exist. And so they got creative about finding a space. This was back in 2019. They were setting the groundworks for all of that, and they opened in 2020. Lots of other things happened in 2020 as well. And so this space of like community gathering and togetherness immediately got shut down by COVID, and
the physical
apart.
space.
The physical space.
Right. I heard that they started
and then slammed the doors shut.
COVID, and had to really get creative.
And they got so creative. There were so many online communities that they were able to establish that have snowballed into, now that we can gather in person, these really beautiful in-person events. One of the histories that I have the most connection to is the Playwrights Circle. So they were able to have this, I believe it was weekly, Zoom meeting of playwrights workshopping their work. I think that started in 2020. And it was a really loyal community there. and they wanted an opportunity to put on their plays. And so starting in 2022, they created the On the Boards Festival, which happens every June now, and it is staged and table readings of plays. And it began from this playwright circle, and then now we take open submissions from Massachusetts playwrights. So it like the creativity propelled it to like survive those desperate years. But it's that mindset. I really admire them because they haven't burned out of that kind of creativity. When I say they, I'm really speaking about the other staff members, especially the ones who are those founders or who have been on since those founding years. They haven't burned out of that creativity of how to look at what we do have accessible to us and how do we use that to meet community need. There's like need and there's like stimulation, like stirring the creative parts of people. Right.
Both making things happen and inviting things in. And how did you get involved?
That On the Boards Festival. Last year I directed, I'm a local theater director, and I was new to the area. I live in Northampton now, actually. Don't live in Franklin County.
But you're welcome here.
But I feel so welcome here. And I was looking for directing opportunities, and this, like, Lava had advertised for these directing opportunities for these staged and table readings for this festival. And it's an opportunity that they created that they didn't actually really need filled. They were kind of expecting people to not necessarily respond to this call. And they were like, that's fine. The playwrights have been directing their own thing. But yeah, they saw this opportunity and put it out there, and it was fine if it landed back on the unsturdy table. And, but I was like, yeah, I want to direct. And that went really well, and I was really grateful to have access to new plays and to playwrights and actors who want to be there with all of their hearts, not that I have worked on like a super professional level before, but I have noticed that often the higher up that I am working as far as a professional theater sphere, the less, I don't know if it's the less heart there is, or if it's that the heaviness of like the expectations and the stakes that everyone puts into it removes a lot of the freedom and the play and the spontaneity, earnestness, just connection with like the delight of what it is to be creating and collaborating with people. So I have found that I really love, as an artist, working on a really accessible level. And often these are super talented actors who haven't made it their day job, and so because of that, it's like, oh, what a treat that I get to act, and there's just honest desire to be there, which is so thrilling. So I had an amazing time. And
so you came in as one of the directors.
Last
year, at the On the Boards Festival.
That's right.
Okay.
For 5 of the scripts.
Okay.
And then I had been working seasonally from October through February. So I knew that I was going to be gone, but I knew that I was transitioning out of this seasonal role. And I had kind of opened, when I was meeting Jan and Vanessa to be a director, I had opened with like, I'm new to the area and I'm hoping to, like, I'm doing one last stint of this contract thing, and then I'm hoping to really establish myself. And they kind of looked to each other and they were like, that coincides really nicely with the transition process that we're envisioning for Lava. So that transition process is that since 2020, excluding Vanessa, who they have found money to pay for the enormous work that she does managing that space. Jan, Lindy, Giovanna, Lucinda, all of these other founders, or I've been, because Lindy wasn't and Giovanna weren't technically there from day one, I've been calling them doulas, really ushering Lava from 2020 to now. They have all been volunteer, and they've been putting in enormous hours, and it's outstanding. And as they are looking to, some of them are in their 80s, as they are looking to not be working insane hours and to pass this off to new staff members, they're seeing that, we have to pay them, actually. So it's a transition period in a lot of ways. And luckily it's kind of a long one. I have come on board in this co-coordinator role in March, and Vanessa is also a co-coordinator, and we've just had Clara Whitty come on board as a third co-coordinator, and Jan is still there, and Lindy is still, all of these long-time collaborators and pillars, are still there, and they're going to continue to be there. But as we're in this place of all being together and figuring out how to shift everything sustainably so that everyone is still lit up by the work of keeping the place going, and supporting each other. I lost my train of thought.
So you're okay. So that's fine.
That's what you're here for.
So your role there now is as one of the co-coordinators, a staff person, and let's just talk a little bit about the many different things that the Lava Center has done and does. I mean, I've been somewhat involved in some of those things, definitely not all of them, but I've seen visual art there, exhibits by local artists, all different kinds of exhibits. I've seen music there, performances. I've seen the plays that you mentioned. I've seen and been part of the Writers Read series, which is local writers reading their work and then talking about their creative process. I've seen poetry open mics and storytelling open mics.
You're crushing it. You might get the whole list.
Now there's this, what's it called? The open stage, right? Yeah. The open stage where people can pretty much go up and do any kind of performance.
Yeah, much like an open mic without the leash of a little static box. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And then story circles.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Story circles are kind of a facilitated group conversation. The theme varies from month to month. I think that the first one was maybe people gathering and just answering the question, maybe it was, how did you come to Greenfield? How did you arrive here? Or maybe it was, how do you feel about Greenfield? I forget what the anchoring question was, but essentially an invitation for everyone to share about their relationship to our shared space. There was one about conflict, an invitation to tell a story about your experience in conflict. Oh, I wish I remembered what the
Well, I see there's one
was.
coming up this Friday about happiness.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, about pursuit of happiness.
The pursuit of happiness. No, that really caught my eye, and I plan to go.
Yeah, they're really nice community conversation spaces.
So a community member basically proposes a theme and organizes a conversation around that theme?
Right now, the themes have been chosen by Jan. Okay. I chose one of them. Okay. I think that Clara might be stepping into choosing them, but in the same way as all of the Lava Center things, if there are community conversations that folks want the space and the structure for, we would be thrilled to take community suggestions. Cool. We take requests.
Cool. Cool. What else? I've seen films there.
There's a film festival coming up in the fall. We either have submissions open now or they are opening soon. Check the website. I am not off book.
Yes, and yes, we'll mention the website before we finish. Yeah.
Totally. There's a website. There's a Theater of Ideas monthly. It's a humanities kind of programming in which someone speaks about anything. How general. It has ranged from, I spoke about my contract work experience in Antarctica. Nyana LaFond, who is the artist of our current humanities exhibit about missing and murdered Indigenous women, spoke about that topic and her experience with it, alongside Matthew, who is a staff member at Lava, or has been a staff member. There's the Theater of Ideas. We are just starting a queer open mic on the first Friday of every month. So beginning August 1st, excluding September. It'll be on kind of a random Friday night in September. Really excited about that. That's going to be a really special space for folks. And that's the kind of programming, too, that a community leader came to us to create the space for.
Right. And I know now there's an event happening that's a collaboration between visual artists and poets, right, and writers that I'm going to participate in, right, where you're going to look for writers to respond to visual artists' work and vice versa, visual artists to respond to writing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. We had our opening exhibit for it on Saturday. So we've got this big, huge installation wall that usually when there's, we'll kind of have an artist fill the space with it for a month. And then a new artist will take over for the next month. And for July and August, we at Lava are facilitating this evolving interactive community installation. So it began on Friday with 5 pieces. So it's 3 pieces of writing and 2 visual art pieces. And we are receiving our pieces that we are going to be putting up on Saturday morning. There have been, I think, maybe 3 visual artists who have created work in response to the already displayed pieces of writing. So it's not something that they're coming in with on their own. They're coming into the space, choosing one of these to inspire an original work. And I think it maybe is 3 writers as well, maybe 2, who will have their pieces displayed that are responding to the visual art. And each week it's going to evolve like that. And it's kind of a total experiment because those are the only rules. So we don't know if everyone is going to be drawn to responding to the same thing. It's going to be really interesting to see it evolve, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited.
So
there's all of these different things going on at the Lava Center, and as you talked about, it's in transition. How would you describe the vision for the future of the Lava Center?
Yeah, that's a great quick pin in that. I realized as I was talking about it's called Art on Words, that installation, and I realized that I should let the people know that we are still accepting submissions for it too. So when we talk about the website, keep an eye out for that submission. We just would love like an abundance of community participation.
Cool.
But as far as the visioning goes, it's a question that Lava has been really preparing for in a lot of ways. Since before I want to say since the beginning of 2024, Jan has been envisioning that some kind of transition was going to be necessary, that energetically for herself, she who is there are lots of founders and staff members, but Jan is the spine of this thing in so many ways. She was seeing that she was going to need to take a more peripheral role, and that the lease was going to be up, and we have new landlords. In November of 2024 is when that lease will be renegotiated. So they had been, starting in 2024, holding these envisioning sessions for Lava, friends of Lava, board members, staff members, to envision what we want for the space. And there were a variety of thinking exercises and a variety of responses of what folks might envision for the space. But really the core of it is that we're really proud of what we do and we want to keep doing it. That we see so much value, especially in a time, in our current political moment, to have a community space where folks can come together and be in community with one another and have access to ways of meaning making also through art. We believe that we provide those opportunities really well. And our short-term vision is we really want to keep doing that. And some of the challenges that we're coming up against are what I mentioned about now it can't be all volunteer run. So our costs have gone up in staff. And while we haven't renegotiated that lease yet, it's looking like our rent is going to go up pretty significantly. We've been paying well below market value for the past 5 years, which we're so grateful for and is certainly a reason for its survival. With our new landlords, they can't afford to give it to us so far below market level, market value, like we've been getting. They're really trying to invest in the building, and which is another way of community providing, right? So as we're looking at a hugely increased operating budget with a short-term vision of keeping on going, we have our board is being revitalized. We have some new board members who have a lot of passion for the place and a lot of organizational skills.
Maybe fundraising skills.
Fundraising skills, baby. Yeah, we have a fundraising committee now, which is getting some momentum. And Jan is a really skilled grant writer, and she's willing to keep doing that. So our eyes are on sustaining money right now. It's a time when we're really hoping for people who already know that they value Lava, or who value the Greenfield community. It's a time that we really want folks to show their investment, either certainly financially, of course, either individual donations on a one-time or sustaining level would make a huge difference, and or connecting us with
bigger donors,
with bigger donors would be hugely impactful. But also really important is another way to invest in Lava is to be physically there, to be in the space and be showing up to these events and strengthening what it already does for the community.
Right. So if you are interested in getting connected or getting more connected with the Lava Center, you can check out their website, thelavacenter.org, and look at all of the calendar of the many different events happening there almost every night of the week, or many nights of the week, days and nights.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we usually have some kind of programming.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can stop by, you can volunteer, you can, if you have ideas about programming that you would like to see or create or contribute to, who should people talk to?
You should talk to me.
Talk to Ash.
Yeah, you can, even if I'm not physically in the space, you can email me at ash@thelavacenter.org.
And I know that, as you mentioned, it's really important to the Lava Center to be accessible to everyone. So there's sliding scale prices, right?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, it's
events.
a new model for us for ticketing, but it feels really aligned with our values of, I mean, even some transparency with the community for some of our events. Most of our events, we want you to come in for free and then give us a donation on your way out if you can, or on your way in, whatever. But for like specifically this On the Boards festival, which we also really believe in paying artists,
right,
even though we can't really afford to pay artists. So because of that, it does take more. We want to be honest about like what a true cost of a ticket would be. And we want anyone who wants to be there to be there. Oh my gosh, that's what community's for. That's what actors and playwrights want from an audience, etc. We want people who want to be there to be there. And we know that there are some people that have some more abundance or some more comfort who can invest in community by paying a higher end of more than the true cost of one ticket to allow for those opportunities. So
come by the Lava Center at 324 Main Street, right near the corner of Main Street and Federal. Stop by, talk to the folks there, talk to the coordinators, look at the website. It's a really important community hub for art and creative expression and ideas and bringing people together. Anything you would want to add?
Just that it's malleable. In order to like have a stake in community, you have to know that your voice matters and your voice totally matters there. And everything that we do is responsive to community voice or need. So
everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
Right on. Thank you, Ash.
Yeah, thank you for having me.